A different person. My wife has left the marriage 3 times in the past 5 months. It's been a cycle: disappear for a couple of weeks, contact, come back, perfect feeling marriage for a few weeks, disappear again. Her personality does a 180 within a matter of a few minutes, something new for her. She has no such history in the past. She admitted to cheating last year and has been in and out of contact with the other person. She is currently gone and may well be living with him. I don't know. She claims that I have been a wonderful husband and that there's nothing wrong with me. She just has to get her head straight. I don't even know what that means. We've been married 4 years, no kids. Most everything is in our names jointly. I have been the primary provider financially. She currently doesn't have a job. Wherever she is, she's driving a car that is in my name. I'm paying her auto insurance and her cell phone. She has accessed our joint bank account once, but I moved all of the money out of that account now. I'm looking for advice here. Should I cut her off completely, ask for the car to be returned, cut the cell service, insurance, and open new accounts? And if so, any advice on how to do that without being a butt? I know this may seem obvious to some of you, but please understand that I'm the type to worry about her well-being. I haven't told her immediate family. I've been trying to do everything to avoid this turning into an ugly situation. They would be shocked. She presents us on Facebook as if we are still a very happy couple. I have to wonder how the other man feels about that. Weird. And I have an appointment with my lawyer. Briefly spoke to my attorney over the phone today. He did say I was right to move the money to safeguard the money for paying bills and such. He also said that I should refrain from communicating with her about joint property or finances until he and I can talk more in depth. And he said that I should hold off on canceling any of the things I'm currently paying for. I'm hoping to get more time with him tomorrow or Monday. I'm trying to just stay in a protect myself mode at this point. I have been in counseling since the first time she left in November. I'm normally a fairly confident, outgoing guy, but I got starry-eyed with the dream of finding the right one. I don't have a problem attracting sane, self-sufficient women, but I seem to have a drive to engage with women who need care. I'm working through that before I get into another relationship. The meeting with the attorney was not as satisfying as I would have liked. He did say that I could cancel all the cards and close the joint accounts, but because she owns half of the family land that I'm committed to pass down to my son, he suggested I move slowly and cutting her off completely. The best outcome, in his opinion, is to entice her into signing a separation agreement in which she agrees to take her name off of the land and the business while at the same time preparing for the worst. Either way, with the agreement or going to court, he's convinced I'll come out with the land and business since I can prove infidelity and abandonment. Meanwhile, the money is protected. I still feel like a doormat by paying insurance, phone and car, but the attorney insists I have patience and keep the end game in mind. Still no contact from her, but I can see from stupid Facebook that she's left the area. And she did try to reach out by pretending to be her sister. I didn't reply. Too much of a childish game. The anger finally kicked in. I've been waiting for it. I'm ready for this to be over and to move on. W is starting to act angry now that she knows I'm asking for a separation agreement and moving on. As I said before, my attorney told me to continue paying the insurance, car payment, and phone until she contacted me, to keep her happy so she would agree to sign a separation agreement putting the big stuff back in my name. Well, I heard from her. Of course, it's because she's out of money. No more left in the joint accounts. So, asks me to sign so she can cash in her retirement. Not very much. In the same email she says I can have the car and cancel the insurance and phone. On my lawyer's advice, I agree in exchange for her signing a separation agreement putting the property and business back in my name and removing her claims. I don't think she expected that response. It's a 180 for me up to this point. I was nice, but very firm that we needed to get this done as soon as possible so we both could move on. I heard back from her tonight. Her tone was very short. She now says I can have the car back if I pay her back for the few payments she made on it. She wants to review the separation agreement. She says cut the phone off as soon possible and she'll give it to me. It was the tone that was so different. Makes me think, how can she be angry at me? She made these choices and these are the consequences. I promised myself that I wouldn't do anything punitive or vindictive. I want to leave this on the high road and with no regrets. It's so difficult when she's starting to get a tone. Is this par for the course with a cheating walk away? 3 months ago, during this whole ordeal, my focus has been on her. The difference this time is the focus is on me, protecting my interest, and believing that I deserve someone who loves and respects me. The part where I feel like I'm a man again feels great. The man is going to win, but what's frustrating is that there is still a part of me that gets excited about the idea of her coming back remorseful. And all. I keep battling that part and trying to make it go away. It's just unbelievable that I would even have those feelings. The list of horrible things she's done to me in the past 6 months is long and unreal. For example, my counselor has cautioned me that by manning up, being indifferent to her, watching out for myself and moving on, there's a possibility that she might come out of her daze and start chasing me. If I'm honest with myself, there's a part of me that gets excited about the idea. But, my for too long asleep at the wheel man says, screw that. Have any of you dealt with that? How? Doesn't seem logical. But whatew, legal separation agreement will be ready on Monday. Takes a year for divorce where I live. Keep having dreams about my wife, so I couldn't sleep. Decided to get up. The attorney still doesn't have the separation papers ready. Every day that goes by, I feel stuck in limbo. I need to move forward. W has been contacting me about cashing in her retirement. Very small amount of money. I told her go ahead. Our communication has been very short. She's tried to make it light. I've just been business. So, being out of contact like that has made things easier for me. I'm just ready to get our stuff settled, so I can really move on. Unfortunately, in my state, you can't move up the D, so it's still a year. I'm still having ups and downs, but the downs don't seem as deep as they were before. I've been refocusing on my work and I've been getting out. I'm trying to view this as a gift of a new start. Sometimes memories of the good times pop up and make me sad for a while, but I guess that's to be expected. Well, I feel like I feel off the horse the last couple of days. I had a great day and evening Friday. Lots of work done and a good night out with friends. But yesterday I got stuck here at home. Didn't feel like getting out or doing anything. Today, I went out of town with a friend. It was a pretty good distraction, but my mind was on my wife, or I should say, the old version of my wife. The separation papers are finally ready. I have to get ready to face that tomorrow and get some movement. These emotions are like a dang roller coaster. I try so hard not to, but I can't help being sad that the good times are gone. I guess this is all normal. I had a breakdown this afternoon. No specific reason, just felt like I was going to panic and couldn't breathe right. Got a friend on the phone. I was so dang emotional. I'm not sure what brought it on, but it felt the way I felt when someone close to me has died. It's like the woman I fell in love with doesn't exist anymore. She died. Sometimes, I feel like a real wuss when I read stories about people who have been married for years and decades. There are so many situations on here that are much worse than mine. This is my second marriage and my third long-term relationship. My first M was 6 years, then I had an 11-year long-term relationship. This M has lasted 4 years. I don't know why I'm taking this one worse than the others. I put so much into this one, learning from a lot of the mistakes I made before. Yes, I had more to learn. She's reached out by email 4 times today, between angry and apologetic. Mad at me because I talked to her family. I didn't, then apologized and said, of course you can talk to my family anytime you want. I'm just not ready for them to know. Then mad because she heard rumors that I filed the separation papers without her. I didn't, then another apology that I haven't fully read yet. I only answer with business. X, didn't talk to your family, didn't file papers, requires both signatures, will send tomorrow. Hope I'm on the right track. So, she emailed and asked me to explain what would be in the draft of the separation agreement. So, I did. The only question was the car. My lawyer suggested that I pay the car off and give it to her if she couldn't make payments. So, I asked if she could make payments. Well, up till then our last few emails had been short but cordial. I reassured her that I didn't want anything from her, just to be able to get this done and move on. But her reply was so angry that I know she can't make car payments. She gave up her job for me, she has nothing to eat, that I took all the money from the bank, that I'm using the money to enjoy myself. Half of me wants to write back an angry email explaining that no of those things is my choice. She made the choices. She has to live with the consequences. In fact, she's made a bunch of choices for me that I didn't ask for or take part in. The other half says just stick to business and get the papers done ASAP. Here's what I feel like replying: of course I don't know if you can make car payments. In fact, I don't know anything, and haven't for the past 6 months or more, about your secret life. I don't know where you live, who you live with, if you have a job, nothing. You chose not to talk to me except when you needed something from me. You chose to quit your job to work on the marriage, and then you chose to leave that same marriage without working on it. You chose to leave a home with plenty of food and no worries about finances. You chose to leave me with no explanation, thereby causing me to worry about what might happen to the savings and the business. I chose to protect the assets. I chose to start working on myself. I chose to get a life and try to be happy in spite of the situation. Or better yet, maybe I should just respond, you're right. I should buy you some food. To whom do I make out the check, you or the other man? How to handle this misplaced anger? I don't want to be a doormat, but I want to get out of this separation with as few financial scars as possible. Met with the attorney today and he tells me it's my job not to piss her off and to get her to sign. Tough order when someone is practically spitting in your face and you want to tell them how it is. It seems she's been doing some looking in the mirror today. I can tell by the up and down nature of her texts as we deal with business that she's panicking some, probably realizing for the first time that there are consequences. I even got an I love you and an I miss you this evening. So weird. Got to stay strong. Now her family is reaching out to me, asking to talk, something they haven't done before. I need a little peace. 3 new things I want to run by you here. First, I've heard from a brother-in-law that the parents are upset with her and want us to I didn't talk to the parents. I just sent a message that I'm too busy the next few days. I do want to talk to them just because I like them a lot, but I'm not sure it's for me to be the one to tell them what happened. Second, damn it, I'm having second thoughts and I'm not as clear as I was before about D being the end game. When I look at this from an outside perspective, I have to ask, what the hell am I doing? My heart and my brain are screaming at each other. Third, she was supposed to come over today while I was away to pick up her stuff. She didn't take anything when she left a month ago. I came home expecting an empty room where I had her stuff. Instead, I came home to her having washed the dishes, done all of my laundry, folded the clothes, cleaned the house and bedroom. Her stuff is still where I left it. It's a hard realization, but yesterday made it clear that I'm causing most of the problems I'm experiencing. I feel genuinely depressed again today. I thought I was ready to move on. I thought I was immune to her actions. I thought the days obsessing over when she might call or text were over. I thought I could stay the course. I thought I was in a place where I was sure I never wanted her to come back. I'm not there. If she meant to plow up old feelings by cleaning the house and leaving her stuff lying around in strategic places, it worked. It made me want her to walk through the door again. I texted her and thanked her last night for the things she did around the house yesterday. At least, I was true to my commitment not to seem needy, so it was a simple thank you. But now, I'm obsessing over why I haven't heard back from her. I'm really angry with myself. I've brought this on myself. I could have changed the locks on the doors and left her stuff somewhere to pick up. Instead, I'm allowing her to walk back into my life and put me back on the roller coaster. I don't understand why. I have never had more clarity on the course I should take that is best for me, but I'm not taking it. Somewhere inside me, I'm still holding on to a hope that we will are and that things will be better. My mind just keeps screaming, what the hell? I don't know what to do. Now it's less of a fight with her actions and more of a fight with my inaction. I can tell that a big part of her wants to come home. And it's so hard to admit, but I want her back. Why? Why can't I just accept that I have a clean house, clean clothes and such, be thankful for that and let it go? Not make such a big deal out of it. I'm a mess, my friends. She'd have to do a lot more than clean the house. It would take so much more and so much time if we were to go down that road. And I would need proof that the other man is cut off completely. Sure, would be easier if I would just shut off the possibility of R. I don't know where she's staying, don't know if the other man is still in the picture. I'm in the blind on that one. I'm not sure if other man has GF, I do know that he has an ex-wife. I need to find out. I don't want to be a doormat even for my own self-respect. I haven't been initiating any contact and I know I should be pushing the separation agreement. I don't know what's keeping me from it. Whenever her master plan falls by the wayside, I get to hear her vent. I ignore until I receive the desired response. Only at that time will she receive a response. I have been able to employ the above strategy. It works like a charm. When I ignore blame, demands, or anger, I soon get something more reasonable to which I can then respond. This has been the worst night in a while. I can't sleep and I've been super emotional. I've been flooded with memories and a desire to see her and communicate with her. Not hearing back from her after she cleaned the house yesterday and left her stuff has been eating at me, I have to admit. It's also been all I can do to not send her a thank you text for the coffee she brought and left for me, my favorite kind. 2 weeks later, I found out that my wife had been living in the woods out of her car for the past month out of fear of coming home. I found her and asked her to move back in until things are settled. She said she wanted an R more than anything in the world. So, I offered her the car and a nice sum of money to move out and get a new start on her life. She turned it down. Then I offered to fly her to her parents and to give her a sum of money to get started there. She turned it down. I wanted to make sure she wasn't back to use me for the money. She says she wants time to prove that she's sorry, remorseful, and ready to be totally honest. I am extremely cautious, but I'm prepared to give her a few months. So far, she has been open and has answered every question I have had. She has shared all passwords and codes. The phone and internet records don't reflect anything suspicious to date. She has taken responsibility for everything and has not done any blame shifting. She says she will do anything that I want or need to help rebuild the relationship. Meanwhile, I am in a different spot. I'm happy to give this some time, but I'm also indifferent as to the outcome. I will also give in an effort to rebuild, but I won't sacrifice myself anymore. I can take it or leave it and that feels good. I can feel that I still love her and I feel genuine love from her. But I am more interested in taking care of me. I feel like I've grown so much over the past few months. If she wants to ride on that bus with me, she's welcome. If not, the door swings both ways. Those who are looking for a chance at R, take the advice given here very seriously. I don't know if my situation will work out in the end, but the marriage only has this chance because of what I learned from others' experiences here. You have to take care of yourself first. You have to be willing to walk away and not look back. You have to accept your situation and let go of the fear of losing your spouse. Those things really do draw the other person back. My wife keeps marveling at my newfound confidence and my focus on my purpose and goals. Not only are they attractive to her, but they make me know that if the relationship doesn't work, I will be fine. All that said, I can see now that a true R will take so much hard work. The ups and downs of the separations were hard, but in that case, I only had me to work on. Now there are 2 of us again. We'll see if I'm up to it. My short-term goal is to get W some professional help. I'm not sure if she's truly BPD, but her behaviors fit some of the description in the post above. We need to find out for sure SAP. My other goal is for my home to be a drama-free zone. That's the make or break with me. The R is tough. She's really depressed, remorseful, and dealing with a lot of guilt. That's good, but I'm much further down the road. I'm ready to have a good year. It's been so crappy for the last few months. We've begun to go out and do things we both enjoy. Those times are good. She's treating me good, being honest and open. But I'm more ready for the positive. She's still feeling negative about herself. So, we'll see. I'm still in the take it or leave it mood. It feels good to be in that spot. She needs some I see, but she's not there yet. I'm learning that these things are slow and there are many ups and downs on both sides. Just got to be happy with myself, take care of myself and be patient. Life is one big classroom. So, the big R turned out to be a big false. For a few weeks, things went well. She was showing all the signs of a new commitment to the marriage and she was following up with actions. She was open with all of her communication devices, even to the point of asking me to keep them with me when we were apart. We also had only one vehicle between us, so we knew each other's whereabouts at all times. We were both working on it and we were having fun times together. Then things went downhill quickly. The Opus came back into the picture. He started contacting her during our anniversary trip. Her warmth and sweetness toward me disappeared almost instantly. She stayed and she told me that she had decided to stay in the marriage, that she would not run away again. She didn't, but things got crazy. The Opus threatened to ex himself. She felt totally responsible. There was so much drama. She would constantly check on him, reach out to his family and friends to make sure he hadn't done the deed. Of course, he didn't. He didn't intend to. But there I was. She asked me to support her and she asked me to protect her from him. Turns out he spent time in prison for a weapons charge. Also turns out that his previous wives had restraining orders taken out on him. His behavior got increasingly weird. It was actually driving the wife and I closer. She preferred being with me because there was no drama. He confronted me at my house. He showed up there twice. I contacted the sheriff. He continued to threaten to ex himself. Then, all of a sudden, his behavior changed, a 180. My gut knew exactly why. She began telling him that there was hope for their relationship. So now, we're separated. We still see each other frequently. I'm working on pulling back again. Things are really strange. The affection from her is sporadic. I don't initiate any of it. When we separated, I got I love you again for a few days, something I hadn't heard in weeks. Having spent some quality time with her, I've continued to be committed to working on a future reconciliation. I know a happy marriage is possible, but I'm having to change tactics. On my side, the first few days of separation were brutal, but in the last 2 days, I've found my groove. I'm trying to learn all I can, partly in an attempt to reconcile, but mostly just for me to take better care of myself and to be a better partner in the future either to my wife or future partner. I've struggled with what exactly my contribution was to problems in our marriage. At first, I blamed her exclusively. Then, I blamed myself for everything. After studying, I see that it takes two to ruin a marriage. After studying the distancer-pursuer dynamic, I realize, of course, that I've been the pursuer since this crisis began. It's behavior that I've had to constantly rein in. But I've recently come to realize that I was the distancer prior to the crisis. When my wife is open to constructively talking about the problems in our marriage, she describes my behavior as controlling and aloof, that she felt a lack of true commitment, that I focused too much on work and friends, that I didn't value or respect her opinion or input. You know, she's exactly right. It's the same behavior that destroyed a prior long-term relationship. Of course, I know it was her choice how she reacted to it, but it is damn frustrating that it took a crisis and multiple separations for me to realize this. At least, I know this going into the future. So, I have a question. She needed and wanted more attention and focus on her during our marriage, when she was the pursuer. Now that the roles have flipped, I read that I need to stop all pursuing behaviors. It seems counterintuitive since that's high on her list of emotional needs. And it seems dangerous since the OP is fulfilling that need now. Everyone was right. It just took me an additional year to get it through my thick skull. After 2 more attempts at reconciliation, at her request, after counseling, setting up shared Facebook account, canceling her phone so there would be no secrets, and after getting the police involved to protect her because she felt threatened by the other man, and after he got arrested and moved across the country, my son caught her talking to the other man about their future plans this afternoon. He called me. I came home, told her to pack up all of her stuff and never come back. So, she's gone. This time, I haven't shed a tear. In fact, I feel a little relieved and excited to get the ball rolling on the divorce. I did myself proud this time, no nice guy crap. Everyone was right. I should have done this a year ago. But I needed to learn all this junk on my own. Comment. Here's the thing you should know. Your wife is not normal. Your marriage was not normal. It was just your normal. There are people out there who aren't narcissistic like your STBX. There are people who will give as much as they take. We just met the wrong ones. It's really as simple as that. Why did we meet the wrong people? It's called codependency. We are drawn to these people. You, my friend, are codependent and need to work on breaking this. I am still working and am not even close 5 months in. Until you break this, you are doomed to repeat the pattern. Maybe not with her. Hopefully you can see now you can't with her, but with the next one you meet. I can tell you're a nice guy. You want to do things to please other people. You probably have yourself convinced that while doing these things it's making you happy also. Question yourself, was it really making you happy or just making you feel secure? OP responds, had some sadness this morning. There's a part of my wife that is genuine, caring, and warm. I'll miss that part. It's almost like mourning the death of someone. The lies and deception I will not miss. I learned from one of her friends this morning that she's been comparing me to the other man lately. He's more fun because he likes to party hard at bars and get into fights, drinks daily, has been in prison, and is part of a gang. I ain't a woman, but if I were, those things would be real turn-offs. I'm looking forward to meeting someone healthy someday. She sent a message telling me where I could pick up our car, and she asked me what she could do to make it easier on my end. What nerve, and that she hopes everyone is okay. Well, they're not. My family, especially my grandmother and son, are taking it hard. She told a friend that she's mad at my son for listening to her conversation with other man on the phone. Her friend told her that it's her own fault for calling other man from home and that her stepson shouldn't have to be the one to hear such things. Of course, it's everyone else's fault. She also said she didn't want this to happen this way and so suddenly. These things make me angry and it feels good. This is a setback day for me. I've been putting on my big boy pants every day lately and doing the things I need to do. But this morning, I can't find my big boy pants. I had a meeting at the project we worked on together, part of my work, but she was the real spirit behind it. Most of the people involved know that she's gone. They're bummed out her leaving and worried about me. I didn't let on, just did what I had to do. But it made me miss the good part of her. Made me sad that that's not the part of her that guides her, the part that people love, the part that gives, the part that finds joy in life. Don't get me wrong, I'm not backsliding. The good does not outweigh the bad. I'm not getting sentimental. Just felt sad that that person is gone, got eat up by some other self-consumed person who I don't even know. I'm a leader in the family and in the work I do. People depend on me, which is a good thing work-wise. I wish that wasn't the case for a few days. I really would like to just hide out for a day or two. But, impossible. Phone keeps on ringing, work keeps piling up. The more I sit here, the more the deadlines are adding to the stress. The good news is I do feel differently overall. She sent me an address this morning where I can send the separation papers. The old me would have jumped at the opportunity to reopen communication, get back in the pick-me game. Not anymore. I feel a huge sense of relief that I don't have to ride that roller coaster anymore. Someone else bought that ticket. It's become very clear to me too that I was letting this crap happen to me. Boy, if I could have gotten my man on earlier. The sense of freedom from the game feels great. The sense of loss, I just need a little time with it to get it out of my system. So, here's where I am. I now have the address to send the separation papers. My attorney is updating the ones I had done last year. Last year's version gave her the car and a cash payment of a few thousand in exchange for her signing everything else, business, home, investment, truck back into my name. This year's version offers no exchange, just the provisions for her to sign everything back. I told the lawyer to hurry. She's in a mood to prove that she can make it on her own. With Opus's help, of course. I need to get to her while she's in this proving mood and before she figures out an alcoholic felon cannot support her. As far as possessions, she has all of her stuff. I have all of mine. She has no access to any of the accounts. And I'm not paying for anything that benefits her except driver's insurance, which ends on Friday. A year ago, I would have been appalled at myself for being so harsh, but this year, I want out and I don't want to share any of the benefits of this marriage. I can't believe I was paying for her car, her phone, her insurance and gave her access to an account while she was off cheating last year. Thank God we didn't have kids together. I feel so exhausted from the drama of the past few weeks that I'm wanting to move fast. That dream I'm having to put to rest. I spent so much time believing it would just magically resurrect, in spite of knowing better, in spite of all the evidence right in front of me telling me that it had died a while back. Whether it's working for an R or how to maintain your dignity and move on, I could write book on what not to do. Yes, she told me once that it was her job to fix other men. At one point, she wanted me to just hang out here until she could fix him enough to get him to his family's hometown where he would be safe. Then she would come home and work on the marriage. Jesus even said she was responsible for his problems. She had a good relationship with my son. They got extremely close over the last 2 months. She was working overtime to charm and get close to my family. In fact, on Mother's Day, he wrote her a card talking about how she was like a mother and he was so happy to have her in his life, something that surprised me. But he was the one who later that day caught her talking on the phone with other men. Now, he's been running between rage and sadness. The card he wrote and his gifts ended up in a trash bag she threw on the fire before she drove away. Pissed me off. Son is 20. Because I raised him, he says he looks out for me. Good thing he listened in on the phone call, otherwise I might still be in limbo land. She told her friend that she was pissed at my son, that he ruined it all. She planned on us splitting in a friendly way months from now. Translation, based on what I've heard, when other man had saved up some dough. One thing I did differently this time, I told all of my family and our friends that she left for another man. I had protected her before when I thought we might work out. Telling everyone is sort of an insurance policy for me. It makes it highly unlikely that she'll show her face here again or try to fight me on the separation agreement. She told me that she couldn't bear it if people knew. I dropped IC when wife asked for MC. We went to MC 3 times. The counselor asked me to read a book about living with a spouse with borderline personality. W scolded me for not making an appointment for MC a couple of hours before she got caught. Yes, I saved some money. The threads that say that MC is useless when there's still an OM in the picture are right on. The reasons she gave for her unhappiness were all false. Her family, career, etc. Really, she was unhappy because she still had feelings for OM and couldn't figure out a way to be with him and have everyone's blessing, including mine. Anyway, I need to get back into IC. It was doing good in terms of turning my focus inward. Too much of my energy has been on W and the situation. Right now, it's like having worms in my brain, just replaying scenes and dialogues over and over. I feel really sad. I'm having trouble because I know they care, but my family and friends won't give me time to just be alone. I know I'll be fine. I just need a little time in the woods. Need to get my head on straight. A buddy called and asked me to go hiking this evening. So, I will get in the woods today, albeit not alone. I was naive in thinking this would be easy because of my anger at the situation. It was easier in the first few days. It's difficult now. I feel sad and the things I'm trying just don't kick it. I'll get out of this, but not as easy as I thought. Off to the woods. Getting in the woods, doing a hard couple of hours intense steep hike and leaving the phone in the car felt great. The buddy and I actually managed to laugh about all the crazy crap that's happened the past year. Some of it, I had forgotten. Can't believe some of it was real. Seems like I'll get some good sleep tonight for a change. Exercise and laughing at the absurd is great advice in these situations. Man, mornings are hard. I usually feel pretty good around bedtime, but mornings are tough. Reading stories around, I've noticed, of course, that wives check out way before leaving or cheating. That process usually takes years and the wife usually puts some sort of effort into making the marriage work. That sure didn't happen in my case. At the first sign of unhappiness, mine checked out and checked in with someone else. It also amazes me how attached we men become to one person. If you believe all the crap you hear or read in pop culture, you would think it was women who get super glued to one person. Seems like we men have a hard time breaking attachments. And danged if all the stories, although nuanced, don't have the same basic plot and the same lines. There are some exceptions, but I find that upon reading the first few posts of a thread, I can predict if there will be an affair later on. Of course, that's old news for some people, but it's amazing to me how the behavior fits such a pattern. My comment: you have to take control of your situation. Get rid of your WW from your life. Do other things apart from work, exercise, join a charity, help the neighbors, etc. You need to keep busy. Part 2 ending coming soon. It is a good ending, and I will see you there after I finish working on it.